Welcome everyone. I'm excited to bring to you a brand new kit today from knifekits.com. This is the first in a line of many wooden knife kits. What we're doing today is a wooden version of the Sensei. Now the Sensei wooden kit is in almost every way exactly like the regular kit, except it's made out of wood. Today, in fact, it's going to be figured oak for the blade, and we're going to be using figured walnut for the handle material. Now, of course, you can mix and match any handle materials that you want, but that's what we're using today. This is a great kit if you're wanting to build something that you can put up for display, or it is a great kit for the whole family. So join us and enjoy building the Wooden Sensei knife kit.
All right, so we're going to start by laying out our kit, making sure that we have all of the parts. Of course, we've got the blade. We're going to just use something like an X-Acto knife to cut out our bolsters and our handle scales. You could also use a box cutter here if that's what you got. The point is you're using something with a really sharp blade to do it. And also make sure that you've got your 4 pins there. Now, although this particular kit is figured oak and the handle material is figured walnut, the cool thing is you can use any of the handle scales that are made for the Sensei on the Wooden Sensei. Or you could buy a block or regular scales and then shape them out. The Sensei is a particularly easy kit to make your own handle scales for. There's nothing particularly fancy about the shape of the scale, so they're really easy to make. So you could buy anything like Damagrip or Vapor Res or anything like that and really dress this kit up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shave off the tabs. Okay, now when we shave these off, again, you are using something very sharp, so be careful. 1, don't cut yourself, and 2, don't take too much off. If you get more than just the tab, then you run the risk of having your blade stick out from behind your bolsters or your handle scales. Keep in mind, you can always sand this down lightly later when you've got everything together. So it's better to leave a little bit of tab there than to take off too much meat from the actual bolsters. First, we're going to do a little dry fit on our pins. Now, although we're assembling the basic kit today, you can think of many things in addition to different handle scales that you could do to really dress this up. For one thing, you could stain it to any kind of color that you want using a stain, or if you wanted to paint, I guess you could paint it. You can use mosaic pin stock. Since this is a decorative piece, that's not something obviously that you're going to use for cutting things with. This is just a really great kit to do that type of thing with, to dress it up. Alright, once we figured out which side our bolsters need to go on, just like with the steel knife, you are going to go ahead and epoxy and put the bolsters on first. Double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking. Why are we checking so many times? Because once we epoxy it on, if it's wrong, too bad. We have to start all over, which means getting a new kit. Because in this case, you wouldn't get the 2 pieces of wood separated without doing damage to both. And the reason that we put the bolsters and epoxy them on first is because we need a nice solid surface there without any kind of movement, so that when we put our handle scales on and we epoxy them to the bolster, we're not moving the whole thing around as we're waiting on as we're drilling the handles and waiting on those to cure. And we are using brass penstock here. You can use steel penstock. The steel is soft. However, the brass is slightly softer, so it's going to be a little bit easier to peen. I will say that on a wooden kit, again, because you're not using it, you're not going to need to peen it to the point that you do a regular knife kit. Because, again, obviously it's designed to help hold the bolsters and help hold the handle scales on, but since you're not actually using this kit, you don't need to peen it quite as much. So that is completely up to you. Alright, so after we've peened our pins and we have clamped down our bolsters so that we can let them cure, we're going to come back now and we are going to fit up our handles. Again, on the handle scales, look, see which side of the handle scale you want to be out. Make sure it all fits up flush, and then we're just going to tape it on so that we can take it to our drill and drill our holes. You know, some people look at wooden kits and they think, oh, that's a kid's kit. And I will say that yes, these are absolutely awesome for kids to do, because it doesn't matter how little the kid is, they can't cut themselves doing this, right? So that part's really awesome. But given the amount of decoration that you can do on this kit, file work, as I keep saying, staining or painting or mosaic pins or anything, this is truly an art piece that when you are done, you want to put it up and put it in a spot for everybody to see when they come into your home. All right, as we get our holes drilled through. Once we do the first one, we just put a pin in. That just helps hold it steady for the second one. All right, now that we have drilled both of our handle scales, we're going to go ahead and epoxy them. Again, being careful that we epoxy the correct side. And we want to make sure that we epoxy either the end of the handle scale or the underside of the bolster there, where they're going to meet up. We got our pins in, so we're going to go ahead and clamp our handle scales. Paint our pins. Now when we get ready to take this to the sander, remember again, this is an all wood kit. So as you're going around where the handles and the bolsters meet the actual tang of the knife, Unlike a metal knife, right, this wood is gonna sand down a lot faster. So you have to be really careful when you're bringing your handle scales down to the level of the tang, that you don't just keep going and all of a sudden you have hardly any tang or handle scales left, because you kind of blow through it. So basically what I would recommend on that is that you switch to a slightly finer grit sanding belt a little bit sooner rather than later.
Sanding is a very important step in the build out of any knife kit. It's important to have multiple grits of sandpaper or sanding belts or sanding disc, whatever your choice is. Fortunately, over at knifekits.com, we have the sanders, we have the sanding belts, and if you choose not to use power equipment, we also have sandpaper so that you can do it all by hand. We have it in all of the grits that you need, from your very rough finish work all the way down to the final finish. All you got to do is click the link right here, and it'll take you directly to the sanding category.
And then we'll just polish it up for a final little cleanup at the end.
That Wooden Sensei sure did turn out beautiful. I know that's going to look great on the mantle. Hey, if you didn't get to build along with us today because you didn't have it yet, that's okay. All you got to do is click the link right here and it will take you directly to the website so you can get one of your own. Also, if you enjoyed this video and liked it, please take the time to click like on it. And also be sure and subscribe to our channel right here, because that way you'll be notified of all the new and exciting videos that we're coming out with. Thanks again for watching.